Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy, so keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.
You speak as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And how alike sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
My wife, she's missing. I fear terribly for her safety.
Some women are just looking for a reason to go missing.
She disappeared into the Ahledar Desert, the heart of the Whispering Waste.
As suicides go, it has an exotic appeal.
I fear she has returned to my former mansion. If you would track her, find her, bring her home.
You'd pay me in sad looks and liquor?
The mansion was never reclaimed by the tax collectors. Dark rumors swirl amid the whispering winds. Land leviathans maroon amid the dunes and cataclysms past. If my vault is untouched, its entire contents, the wealth of 5 noble generations, are yours.
You had your openers and closers reversed.
I should warn you, Sir Thief, or Nachtin the boards call it. The dead citadel. Worse still, the Whispering Wastes do not lie empty. Rumors swirl of a figure, stooped and shrouded in grey, face hidden, dragging a silver blade at his side, carving his way through the criminal element of 2 entire countries. None have divined its purpose, and it has only ever spoken one word, one most would not even recognize as a name.
Nosfero. Does this word not sound like the death bird culling the living dead at dawn? It is the name both ghouls and demons dare not say, for they know it means death for the undead.
Hard work, dedication, hard work, dedication.
What is up, everybody? How are you doing on this fine Saturday? I am Shanthan Jetty. This is Shanthan Jetty Art. Welcome to the Iron Age Comics Forge. We still make waffles. If you need some, let me know. We'll throw some on that Iron Age grill. It happens. That Iron Age waffle iron. This is a thing. Working on Nosfero, my book here. I don't know what I'm going to be painting today. I might be painting a few different things. But first and foremost, before I say hi to everybody in the chat, let me see if we got any channel members in here that I need to say hello to. We have got, of course, Stephen Rockwood dropping more links than Oscar Mayer here in the chat. Stephen Rockwood, I bow to you, channel member Stephen Rockwood. It is great to see you here. Let's see who else we have got here. Let me just make sure. All right, let's go. First and foremost, Joseph Dredd saying, I claim first, and you are awarded first. Merry Christmas to all. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Merry Christmas to everybody in the chat. We've got Blackjack here. Good morning, and hail CG indeed. I'm going to echo that back at you. Good morning to you, sir, and hail CG indeed. We've got Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 in here. It is good to see you, boss, as always. There's never a wrong time to see Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. American Comics Company, you are always in good company when American Comics Company's in the house. It is great to see you, my friend. Always puts a smile on my face when I see you in the chat. And so glad you are here. Let's see who else we've got here in the chat. Brian, suddenly old. I know how you feel, Brian. I swear. Suddenly old is a thing that does hit you like a ton of bricks. And I'm definitely there, my friend. We've got Hicksville in there. I love that name. Every time I see Hicksville, it cracks me up, man. Because I grew up in a place called Hickson, Tennessee, believe it or not. And I grew up just north or south, always, of Hicksville. It happens. We've got Neon Todd Studios. Great to see you, Neon Todd. I salute you, my friend. How are you doing? Lost Pages 3 sign up is here. And of course, my main man, Lloyd Burton. It is great to see you, brother. Oh my gosh. Puts a big smile on my face when I see you in chat. I know you've been swamped. I know you've been busy. But brother, I love seeing you in the chat. And let's see who else we've got here. Iron Age Bacon, Waffles, and Pancakes. And of course, my brother from another mother. A good man. A great friend. A terrific dude all around. Gabe L-Type is here in the chat. And Gabe sent me a really nice text last night at 3 in the morning my time, you know, and the kind of thing it's always good to hear from a brother. So it is great to see you here, man. Hard work, dedication, that's what we do here. Yes, everybody's saying, hail, Gabe, getting to work this Saturday morning. Yeah, that's what we got to do, man. That's what we've got to do. American Comics Company. Yeah, always great to see my brother, Gabe. We talk about movies over on his channel. 533 backers, y'all. It's getting real. It is getting real with Nosfero the Crypt Walker. But we do a show over on Gabe's channel called Double Impact with the great Jericho Green. And this was sort of the, I would say it's the brainchild of ours, but I think it was more just that shared passion we have for Van Damme. It really makes this stuff happen. And we started talking about movies, and I will tell you this, when we started that show, I had no idea just the profound impact it was going to have on myself, on all of us, on the people, those of you guys who hang out in the chat, talking about these action movies, talking about these movies and the values they instilled in us and what they meant to us. It has been an incredible blessing and wonderful to share with my brother Gabe. And it's cool, man. I mean, we're just doing it, guys. You know that how we do things in CG. I have to tell you, I was really enjoying the stream on Ethan's channel the other evening, reminiscing, taking those strolls down memory lane, and talking about the early days of CG, and yeah, it was great to see, man. It takes me back. Sometimes I'll watch some of those old streams, to remind myself a little bit what it was like. I can't imagine just being on the outside of it. Seems wild, but I can't imagine what it was like for those guys. I know it was crazy and harrowing for John Malin and for Ethan, of course. And of course, I've seen it also happen to a bunch of different people. I think Aaron Lopresti and Shelley got it really bad, just the nonsense. And so did oh my gosh, Mike Barron, of course, one of Gabe's friends and mentors, and someone he got to meet early on in comics. So you gotta love it, man. Gotta love that kind of stuff. So let's see what we can do here. So I'm working on a bunch of different things right now. So I'm going in on this Nosfero page right now because I wanted to add this character into it because it's important for where Drake Thulu's relationship to a particular thing that this page, if I show the whole page, gives away a little bit in a good way, but then we're getting down into spoiler territory on these last couple of pages. And as I mentioned, for those of you guys who've backed the book, you would have gotten this message on the update. The book is, the page count of story pages for the book is locked, which is 33 pages. It's a very special number to me, so that felt really, again, one of those many things that happens where you just feel like it's right, and so that was really exciting. But with the page count locked, that includes the addition of a double-page spread I was chewing over doing. And it's just necessary because it's so tied into the lore. It's so tied into the story. Hicks and all kinds of hicks around my parts, next Himheads, you name it, we got them. Hey, sounds like my kind of people, man. We were joking about that we want to see, after all of the vehicle things that have been done in Terminator, we want to see an ATV rescue. What do you think? Does that sound good? No nipples, Bancroft, and heaven. No, that's not true. That's not true. Hold on a second here. Let's let that focus for a sec. My Wi-Fi is a little slow for some reason. I don't know why, because there's no Wi-Fi on. It's going direct into the computer. That's weird. But here you go, guys. Let's take a look at that. So there you go. Bancroft, maybe he should be afraid. Maybe he should be afraid of this stream. You never know. You never know. So let me see here. All right, so I'm put some highlights in there. But as this book comes together, it's funny. I had Camel Moon on the channel. He was just hanging out. We were drawing and talking. Had a great time with Camel. Camel has got an art contest going right now. If you guys haven't checked it out, for Boots and Heels. And yeah, check out Boots and Heels as well. Shoot, I was going to put that link in the description today, and I knew I was going to forget something. But one of the things that was interesting is when you hear people talk about their creative process, so many of us have just a different way of approaching things. And for me, yeah, you did. Of course you did. Of course you did. You don't have to manipulate me, Stephen Rockwood. Simple. Just, ask. All you guys got to do is ask, and it's like, that's what we do here. We're here to entertain you guys. But I was listening to those old them talking about those old streams, and people going, oh, I remember that. And, when you were there and you remember that stuff, it's hard to imagine how, frankly, fortunate and blessed we are here to be able to do what we do. And every single day, I try to make sure I'm not taking it for granted, which is, it's not really in my nature to do that anyway. But I always say that Comicsgate and all this stuff that's happening in the Iron Age of entertainment, including fellow Iron Ager and the man who coined the dang term, RAZÖRFIST, it's an incredible thing to find kindred spirits. I spend a lot of time, like I'm sure you guys do, scrolling around YouTube and seeing what's there and seeing what's available. And, in terms of things. And I saw this, I found this channel where this guy was custom painting action figures. And he's, God bless this man, he said he had 6 kids. And I was like, whew. And you could hear his daughter in the background was, running around. It was really funny. And he went over to somebody's house to get some help on it. And he filmed, like, that process of getting it done. And I just thought, how cool is it to have a place where guys can hang out and do what we do? Brian Suddenly Old, I'd like to see a rescue on a... Well, hold on. Oh, whoa. I'd like to see a rescue on a Can-Am Riker modified for off... Oh, dude. Off-road. Those bikes are insane looking. Got it. You're going back to the Terminator thing. For a minute there, I was like, oh, wait a second. Oh, yeah. I'd like to see that too. Guys, this is the thing, right? It's all becoming easier than it's ever been. The issue is that in terms of getting work out there and getting, stuff out there and frankly speaking to creators and saying, guys, I'd like to see this. One of the coolest things that I'm looking forward to is, because I think it's going to be just such a natural extension of what Jericho, Gabe, and I are doing on Double Impact is when Beef Law gets going. Because Beef Law is going to be the stuff that action movie fans' dreams are made of. And that is going to be really cool to see. And so, yeah, I think we need some vehicles, we need some explosions, we need all that cool stuff going on, man. That's the name of the game for what we do here. And that's the same thing with, oh my god, I'm painting off frame. That was ridiculous. So, I love when I do that, I bump the thing in a paint off frame. But that's the thing for me is that I looked at what my pitch was for this book in terms of, in my mind, what it was going to be. But there's certain things that take form and come to life when you're painting that you can't anticipate. Like, you hope that, that the magic things are going to happen along the process, but you never are sure. Certainly if you're me, I'm not one of those people who's just like, oh, it's just all going to work out. Although I tell you, lately it's been kind of, not to sound like a crazy optimist, but certainly feeling like being helped by hidden hands comes to mind. But I'm one of those people who, I love sword and sorcery, and I have more than anything an adventure and action. I have a flavor for this book in my mind, and any ingredient that adds to that is something that can be a part of this book. And I'm finding new visual ingredients as I work on this book. And the story and the world is coming together in ways that are beyond my wildest dreams, man. I love this stuff. Beef Law, no one is safe. Can we get that rescue on a Can-Am Riker modified for off-road? I mean, come on, Gabe. It's what people want. Oh, there's the man. There's Camel Moon. It's good to see you, boss. It's good to see you. I was just talking about you. Don't worry, I wasn't getting into anything too political, like, proper, what's the best scale of Batman action figures. So don't you worry, sir. Don't you worry. But it's an amazing thing to me because we're able, the only thing that we have that's an obstacle to us here in the only thing we have in terms of editorial obstacles to us here in CG is how much can you imagine and how creative can you be and what can you do that's going to capture the audience and inspire them. And for me, I'm very proud of what we've accomplished here in CG. I'm proud of you guys for all of the stuff that you do to help and support us as creators. But I will say this, I'm very proud of this book, and I'm confident that when people get it, they're going to want to open the book and see what all this stuff is about. And that, I think, is the biggest obstacle for any of us in CG, is getting people excited about opening the book to see it. And to me, that's one of the things that Pulp really, is about. It's about you're trying to grab the reader, and have them just want to see things and go, wow, this is sexy, this is adventurous, this is crazy, this is creepy. And that's why I was really excited this week for those of you guys that are here. Michael Deitch, it's great to see you, my friend. How are you doing? 5 for the win. There you go, man. Absolutely. Everybody's saying hello to Camel. It's great to see you here, man. And this is the thing. What is the... 5 inches for the win. 5-inch figures are great. What is the best scale for Batman figures? Actually, I was doing some customizing on... I got a custom cape for it, but for the Michael Keaton 1989 Batman by NECA, it is still, even though it goes for a pretty penny now, the most affordable and, for my money, sane action figure for Batman 1989 you can get out there. It's really impressive for what they did with the tech. It's not, crazy expensive, at least when it came out, but dang, does that figure look good. But yeah, that's my scale. I like the NECA stuff. I love the detail on it, man. That stuff is great. But yeah, so as I've been working on this story, I wanted to bring sword and sorcery and adventure pulp into my book because I think that it's a genre that Comicsgate is our fans and the people, you guys who are in the chat, you love it, but also bring things that aren't things that the mainstream can touch. They don't do sexiness. They don't do pulp sensibilities in their stuff. We can. And so, yeah, that's the big thing for me on this book. But it's gone beyond my wildest dreams. I mean, I feel like Laurel, Lascivia, and all of those characters that I've created for this book are I really know who they are now. And visually, I just think that they're coming together in ways that I could not have even remotely imagined when I started this. I had faith, but as I've done this book and with you guys' amazing support, now I have experience, and that's a hell of a thing to pull from. What's up, Mike Likes Tacos? It's good to see you. Mommy, what's Batman doing to that lady? Yeah, that is Batman. You're not kidding, man. What is he doing? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Lord almighty. Yeah, Drake Thulu is something. And man, I will tell you this, guys. For those of you guys who've been watching these streams since I started doing the book, these are going to be fun to go back on and to watch the process, because I can, and they are for me sometimes too. It's fun to go back, but there are things where you can actually see on stream, if you're paying attention, where I came up with an idea, like where I went, oh, that's what that's about. And people were asking me, like, you create, what I always do when I write, it's a different way of working than some people. I try to come up with a whole bunch of set pieces, and I know what the basic gist of the hero's journey kind of adventure story is. But I try to start out with some set pieces. Those set pieces, interestingly enough, can also be character design set pieces. So I try to come up with a bunch of those things and make everything as creative as possible, even if I don't know where it's all leading at first. And as chance would have it, you get to become an editor of your the things you imagine as time goes on, or you get to be like a film editor. And the more this book comes together, the more everything in it visually makes sense. Like, I'll put two things in shot right now. I'm gonna have to zoom out a little bit. I'll put two things in shot that are tied together in this shot that are key to how this story resolves. All right, cool. And then we'll move over here, and then we're out. And so you guys can ponder that. But that was something that came together to where you're just going to be looking at the story and go, man, was that the plan all along? And it's like, oh, the plan all along was to have this story. But some of the things that have happened along the way are freaking amazing. And, yeah, I mean, just like, I was talking about on stream, one of my favorite things about this book is, like, why the character that I named after, his real name is named after John Malin, named after Coach. But his nickname that he gets from Nosfero is 100% something that just grew out of the story, and it makes their relationship make so much more sense, because this is his adopted father. And if you are hankering for a sexy action adventure, creepy Lovecraftian story, but interestingly enough has a positive father figure in it, positive father role model, you're gonna like this book, because not only was he raised by a werewolf, but it's a charming and great corner of this story in terms of his relationships. And the next story I've already got the name for. So I didn't even realize that was going to happen, but I just started sketching. I was visited by the muse about a week or so ago. Actually, my muse is in the other room on the couch, but I was visited by the artistic muse, and I thought to myself, okay, like, what is this? Like, where is this going? And then it's like every one of these stories is going to be self-contained. So if you get this book and you read this book and you're like, okay, like, it's not going to end on a cliffhanger, but it is going to end with a world of characters that you can come back to if you want to. And there will be continuity. For example, Nosfero and Laurel meet in this book. But the next book is going to introduce a ton of new stuff. One new really cool and creepy, I don't want to say villain, but kind of a haunted character, so to speak. And then another character that is a really cool creature I'm excited about. Yeah, they're just wrestling, Billy. Lloyd Burton, what's up? CG is a movement of innovation and creativity, stories of overcoming. Lloyd Burton, that is why I love when you're in the chat. You are absolutely right, man. You are absolutely right. Yes. Hi, Miss Muse, says Monkey Boy 1969. I will tell her you said hello. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, it's we get to innovate. We get to do all this stuff. When you see mainstream entertainment kind of in its weird sort of, seizing, kind of failure, grasping at straws, trying to figure out where the audience is at. It's like the audience are those people that you guys keep alienating. And one of the things I've been thinking about is, I don't think about like, oh, I want to draw this character or paint this mainstream character these days. I want to draw and paint Comicsgate characters, and I want to create my versions of these archetypal characters, like, what's the word? Ostracized monster, going back to, Lovecraft, and going back to the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and, all of those great sort of characters that we've had. And there is a dynamite new character. This is the thing. I think, God, I practically slurred. I was like, I think this is the thing. What's up, TC? It's good to see you. It's TC, honestly, I can say hand on heart, you're going to love it, and it's going to be worth the wait, man. This is the thing, is that, I think that when you're creating in Comicsgate, you got to give people, every book, you've got to give people something new. You got to give people something like, and that's true with pages and scenes in a comic book, but even more so, you got to really build that world. When you think about those early Spider-Man issues or in comics, they were off at the races. I mean, every single issue, you were getting introduced to a character that in many cases have stood the test of time. And you just can't believe how much creativity was in those issues. And I think that that's the big challenge we have when we're working, is just the most creative stuff that we possibly can create, and that's really what it is. And so next issue, oh man, I cannot wait to tell you guys about it. But it's like, this is the thing. It's about that consistency, and it's about that commitment that I always play at the start of the video. The part of the reason why the idea for the next book is so good is because I push all of my ideas that don't concern the book I'm working on down and sort of say, nope, you don't get to come forward. You have to just wait till I'm done with this. And so anything that fights through to the top and is good enough for me to remember is got to be really good. And that one is great. It's a fun follow-up. I mean, this book is the introduction to everything. So to me, this book is special because you've watched me create it. We've done this over so many, weeks and months and a year, just working and seeing what this became. We started out with a stretch goal, guys, of $5,000 for this. And when you think about that, and I know you guys do, $5,000 is, for doing a book, for everything that's involved in this, was so grateful when I hit that. Let me be really clear about that. But this is a tremendous commitment. And we had no idea if we were going to even fund. I mean, we hoped, and you guys were great, and Bancroft and everybody was so supportive, and Jeremy Lord Crackhead 33, all these great guys I've met, and who I consider friends, were so supportive, and so fantastic. And Stephen Rockwood, I remember when Stephen Rockwood kept saying, and I just refused to believe this. He was like, what's wrong with me? He was like, 30K and 500 backers, 30K and 500 backers. We're going to get to 30K. And I'm like going, dude, from your lips to God's ears. But man, I can't believe I think that he was saying that when we were at 250 backers. Hail 80s Made Consumer. How are you doing? Great to see you, brother. And I just was like, I'm just going to work my tail off. I'm going to build this YouTube channel. I'm going to follow the mail-in method, and that we all talk about. I talk about that all the time on this channel, the mail-in method, and how much his advice was stuff that you could just put into practice, and how helpful it was. You got to have something people are into, but you just have to be so relentless in your promotion of what you're doing and streaming, even when you're in that middle phase, or when the book isn't being backed, and it takes so long to kind of push it to the next step of these things. You just have to be relentless. And it's you guys being here. It's the way you guys have come and been a part of this channel that's made all of this great and worth it, and I appreciate it. Stephen Rockwood drawing, can't say it any fairer than that. Backer number 3, man. Backer number 3. I remember that day like it was yesterday, largely because I completely screwed it up. You guys were great, but Michael and Mel were like, I can't believe Shanth launched. And I was like, oh God, I just went and prayed with my family and launched the book because I didn't know that you're supposed to wait to actually push the button on stream. Stephen Rockwood also says he needs to remember to back Nosfero. That's true. He does. He does need to remember to back it. Oh, that's true. I keep meaning to back Nosfero. Channel member Stephen Rockwood. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being a channel member. Every single channel member helps, and that's why I put you guys' names at the end credits. You know, I update it whenever I get new channel members. I'm always going to update that to make sure that they've got their names in the credits. But it was really one of those things to where I went from not even knowing Michael and Joe and all these fine people to going on that channel and, you know, forming, you know, these incredible friendships that are across like different continents. And I can't, which is nice because not all my friends now are in continent. So that's good. You see, it's right. Absolutely right, man. Hey, Ladies Made Consumer. And I mean, I remember when I found 80s Made Consumer's channel, and speaking of, one of the big reasons why I was so excited to see 80s Made Consumer's channel, besides the fact that he was so passionate about so many things that I love, but he was reviewing my boy Michael Bancroft's book. So it's been great to watch this stuff grow. And if I could make one request, guys, Jeremy, not Lord Crackhead 33, of course, of BECKONED RECOURSE fame, can we get a link to his YouTube channel in here? Because I want to see if we can grow his channel and get it going. He does art streams as well. And I just mailed off the cover painting to him today, as well as the charity piece from the charity stream we did the other day on Lord Crackhead 33's channel, and Michael was doing it on his channel, and of course Joe was doing it on his channel. All you amazing people coming together to help a fellow CGer. God, it was beautiful. But I got all that stuff in the mail and sent everybody the tracking numbers, so yeah, it's great. But I want to see that channel grow because he's showing the whole process of creating BECKONED, and I'd love to see that happen. Michael Deitch, the audience for all these genres is out there. You're darn tootin'. The daunting challenge is to connect with that audience wherever some of them may be hiding. You know what? You're spot on, and I think that that's what manga has sort of been able to kind of overcome. But I think you're right. It's what makes CG works, is our connection with backers, and it's the people with money. To be honest, it's the people who, go out, they work, and whatever they have, they say to themselves they want to back and buy this. And Eric July was talking about this the other day, and it's why I have to buy things. Like when it comes to movies and Blu-rays, I just, it's the whole, like I need to make sure I own it and not just take it, from a creator. And that's why I think it's so satisfying to back Comicsgate books. Like I'm sure you guys feel the same thing, because you get books and the person that it's going to help, and that it's going to help fund artwork, and you've met them and you've watched these things evolve. I can't say it any fairer than that. We are so lucky. And what's funny is a big part of it is how fun it is to be here. For a hate group, we're awfully welcoming of new people who come in here, man. We're awfully welcoming. Yeah, I call them friends from not America. That's right. Yes. I'm incontinent. I know. I'm the same way. Zaid Studios, there's the link. Everybody, let's see if we can get some subs over there. Let's get some subs on Jeremy's channel. Let's grow that thing. 80s Made has been great about it, too. He's been promoting that book as well. I'm going to be promoting it hard coming up in the next week or so. The Colonel Zaid Studios put on a good show. You're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. Guys, look, all we have to do is be welcoming. The people who, and I think we're doing great, by the way, but the people who don't like us, or who even, frankly, think about us, are such a tiny group. We are not nearly as big as we need to be, and as we're capable of being. These are the early days. You guys are here at the early times. You guys are the people who can look back and say, we made this. When we talk about, I was in Comicsgate from the beginning, I have to tell you guys, I was there, I guess, 2000... Gosh, what year was it? 17 or 18? I think it was early. Thank you, Mike Likes Tacos. Oh, that's so great. Just sub to Zaid. Excellent, Joseph Dredd. I appreciate it. Is he holding a... No, he's not, but he thought about it. Maybe he's thought about it. But it's when I look at that stuff, I go, these are still the early days. Because I think that there's so many people who don't know what we are. They don't have some bad impression of us. They don't think anything negative because they just don't know who we are. And we are sort of in that carnival barker phase where if someone comes in this channel, I'm like saying, oh yes, and blah blah, hi CG, and this is a Comicscape book, because they're here because they like, to maybe watch painting, and they're like, oh, this person's doing acrylic. And then they have to, these people who like to slag us and put us down, man. What is up, Mrs. Good Stuff? Good afternoon to you, my lady. And let me see if I can find, where do I have a, dang it, I don't have a hat within reach. But I doff my cap to you, my lady. I bow to you, my lady. It is great to see you here. Yes, absolutely. Oh, that's right. I keep meaning to subscribe to Jonathan Jetty Art. Yes, indeed, guys. Illustration by design. Jason Robinson is trying to get to 1K subs, guys. Let's drop that link in there. Let's drop that link to his channel, because this is the thing. I do not believe in this. I agree with Eric July on this. I don't believe in this this fixed pie thing. I do believe that there is only one Michael Jordan. There is only one Kobe Bryant. There's only, there are certain people who play the game. There's only one Todd McFarlane. But let's be clear, a healthy industry has to support and, is built with things like that, but also a lot of really, really great talent. The average talent and the average story has to be good. And the audience is larger for this kind of thing than we've scratched the surface of. So we just have to keep putting stuff out there. And the more channels there are out there where people understand what we're about. We are not about resentment. We are not about, petty envy, which, holy cow. Again, sorry to give him so many shout outs, but, shout out his thing. Eric July really kind of shed some more light on that whole envy poison that you see that's completely corrupted the mainstream, and that you always have to be vigilant about, man. It's like, take care of the things you need to take care of, and do not get yourself sucked into counting somebody else's dollars or thinking about how, you would run somebody else's business. That's not what it's about, because it's about fun. It's about having a good time and entertaining the audience. What is up, Shave? It's always good to see you. Where all the white women at? God, I love that movie. It's so good. Hey, American Comics Company. Everybody's saying hello to each other. It's great to see you guys in the chat. Ink Spots, great to see you. Enjoy watching your process. Long-time digital painter, learning acrylic slowly. Excellent, Ink Spots. I love to hear that. Yeah, let me tell you guys, that is a great thing to hear, because this acrylics and traditional media are something that so many people are needlessly afraid of. And I get why. I'm not saying you were afraid of it, by the way. I'm just thinking about myself when I started painting. I was such a pen and ink guy. I did not use color at all when I was in college, because I just thought, I'm going to just destroy this drawing now. And I love the fact that so many people are starting to kind of get a chance to see that traditional media process online. And there's a lot of channels doing great stuff out there. Anna does some great stuff. Hail Anna, wherever you are. And she's just doing some good with her eye project. I want to get my kid watching that a lot more, because I think she digs Anna, and she also has just got a lot of skill. And I think it's great to see people with skill just working hard, man, working hard and chipping away. And Anna's, if you look at Anna's flesh tones from her first painting to the one she's doing now, she has had some massive, massive jumps in the sophistication of what she's doing. And I follow a lot of people who know their stuff when it comes to flesh tones, and Anna is right up in there. She's doing some killer stuff right now. Yes, indeed. It's great to see all of you guys here on this fine Saturday. Make sure you like and make sure you're subscribed. Let me tell you something. Boy, have I felt the hand of the YouTube algorithm in this last month. My view count went down. My videos getting, seen went down so much. And I laugh. I know it's a thing. It is what it is. But I was actually surprised. I was really surprised. Because I knew, I didn't think other people were lying about it. I knew they were telling the truth. But it was the first time I got big enough to get throttled. And I thought that was crazy. What's up, Ice Queen? Good to see you. I hope you're having a fine Saturday. Nice art. And Ink Spots is in here saying, Hail American Comics Company. You bet. Yeah, art is so easy, says Stephen Rockwood. You're darn right, right? It's a piece of cake. It's a piece of cake. Love it. Oh, Stephen. Yeah, and by the way, if you have not subscribed to Stephen Rockwood Drawings channel, just because I want to make sure he doesn't, he makes sure he secures his own oxygen mask, as they say. and talks about his channel. He does some great time-lapse stuff, and really is great to see him doing great work. I love seeing that stuff. And saying hello to Caroline, good to see you. Let's see who else we've got here. A's made. I draw stick figures, and Photoshop CG heads on there. That's what we do, CG heads on there, and pass it off as AI art. Hey, listen, that's a way to live. I'm all game for that. Everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. $5 super chat from Pete Callan, the man. It is great to see you, Pete. Hey, Shanth, I found... Oh, hold on a second. My glasses just fell. That reading was a little bit tricky there. I found an old Celtic quote about artists that I think applies to you. It goes, I am so fucking wet on it. I love it. I am so fucking wet on it. I love it. Beautiful. Thank you. I love that old Celtic expression. And because you sent a super chat this fine morning, and I thank you for that, you lovely, lovely person. That's the way it is, Pete. Pete's a lovely man. We got to send you a cheerleader, so courtesy of Pete Callan, everybody enjoy. Charge! And have I mentioned that Pete Callan is a channel member? So welcome, channel member Pete Callan. It is great to have you here in the chat. Much love, my friend. I love, by the way, if you ever have a joke that I have to attempt to read, I may ruin the joke because I cannot read for beans. It's gotten bad. It has gotten very, very bad. And there's Stephen Rockwood's drawing channel. 80s made consumers cracking up. Damn, almost gotcha. Laugh out loud. It's Pete Callan. Listen, Pete, I'm telling you what, if the future of civilization depends on my reading comp ability, we're doomed, man. We are absolutely doomed. And another cheerleader for you, my friend. Thank you for the additional super chat. You're awesome. Charge! You guys are making it a fun Saturday, that's for sure. And thank you, Pete. Always appreciate it. I'm sorry I can't ever score that touchdown there and get it over the line. Oh my Lord. But it is what it is. You know, we play with the tools that we've got. And those are what I have. So it's one of those things too, like when I'm working on these characters, I don't know why, but I've been thinking a lot about some of the cool, you know, stuff that's being done, like, and I mean on the technology side, the innovative stuff that's being done with theme park design and things like that. And frankly, even, you know, the world building that you see happen in video games by really creative, you know, top tier minds. And I always think, you know, it's like, we need to do that in comics. Like, we need to do this stuff. Like, there's a comic book that I know Reenie's a fan of. I think we've talked about it before, and a lot of you guys are fans of. It gets brought up a lot by, gosh, it's such a shame we lost him, but a manga called Berserk. The creator passed away, I think, last year, or this past year, maybe even. And the thing about it is that when you look at one of the characters in it, whose name is escaping me at the moment, his mask is the mask from Phantom of the Paradise. So this whole pop culture potluck that we've been doing globally, before, you know, the silliness of terms like appropriation and all of that, is it's something that manga understands well. And I think we should be looking at our movies, and we should be looking at manga and all of the imagination that's out there to start dreaming bigger and better. And we've been in a creative dark ages, I think, for the last decade or so, and I think we're moving into a new Iron Age and a renaissance, so to speak, but a real Iron Age. You'll never be as reading as Shane. I don't know, man. Like, Shane has trouble with my name, but that is a very, very high bar. I mean, everyone I've ever met struggles with it because it just isn't spelled how it's spelled not how it sounds. But yeah, Shane does well reading. I've watched him read on stream. He does better than I do, and he's got a lot more people to mind in his streams, let me tell you, man. It's when you get up to that number, and I know we're going to get there because it's just the way it's been going. I was surprised by who we have, you know, how many people we have in here right now, and I'm grateful for all of you guys for being here. But it's you've got to have a lot of cool stuff around you all the time. So when I look in front of me, I've got one of the large miniatures of Tiamat, the dragon from Dungeons and Dragons that I used to love from that cartoon. I've got Shin Godzilla. I've got Peter Jackson's King Kong. I've got The Adventures of Tintin. I've got Disney's Haunted Mansion. And then the stuff over my shoulder, it's just creativity, creativity, creativity. And you have to create in an ocean of brilliant creators doing cool stuff. So that's why I get excited when I see what Shane Davis is doing with Inglorious Rex, speaking of Shane. And why I get excited to see the action figures and things that Ethan is doing. And to be honest, I want to see, I just want to see us keep pushing the envelope with what we do. I can't wait to see the godlike stuff from John. I really wish, I was going to reach out to him about this, but I don't know if John ever, shares artwork and that kind of thing behind the scenes. But I really have been dying to see some of his work and his process on that book, because his cover for the latest Graveyard Shift was so cool, and his stuff is just a step up in class, every project he does. And looking at that first Jawbreakers book, you could just see how outstanding his stuff is, but man, he's come so far even since then. So really excited to see. But I think CG does that for people. I mean, shoot, I love Dale Keown stuff, man. His stuff is awesome. And the stuff I've been seeing from Dale, it's just so fun and playful and effortless. It's really fun. And I think we're about to enter a new kind of, a new age and a new era, an Iron Age, dare I say, or dare RAZÖRFIST say, in comics and pop culture that is going to just be a tremendous boon for everybody. It's going to be a good shot in the arm of creativity. Let's see here. Yeah, Michael Deitch never smashed Shane. I love how consistent Shane is about mispronouncing things. Hey, listen, that consistency is the key, Rand, right? Without consistency, you'll never finish is the key, and he's a finisher. He's a closer. Dave G, it's good to see you, David G, by the way. I know that's right. I'd rather sit in on an insurance convention for a weekend than listen to Shane read a super chat. It's painful. And Hail, awesome one. It is great to see you, and yes, indeed, the wave is coming. Is that a Hokusai wave? Oh, it is. Nice. I love Hokusai's work. Hokusai is another influence of mine. It's much more of a subtle influence because, Hokusai was a genius of compositional simplicity. His book on, manga and figures and how to draw animated, animals that seemed like they were in motion and figures were incredible. But I love that guy's stuff. I love his sensibility. I've always loved Japanese prints and Art Nouveau prints. That's a big part of the stuff that I've been into. Someone on Twitter asked me what my influences were, and I listed out a bunch of them. I think it's always important to give people the opportunity to, if they're so inclined, to look up the artists that inspired you. And I think a lot of times there's a history that is ours, that is the history of pop culture, of comics, and that's not the stuff that art history always covers. I'm here to appropriate white culture. Listen, that's what it is. Well, that's why I'm here, man. That 1/4 of me is like, what are you doing to the rest of me? Some say he finishes early. Jeez, guys are killing me. Oh, man. Death by chat. That's going to be something that's official cause of death soon. If I watch enough of your videos, I too can be. That's right. That's the key. That is why I am here, guys. That is why I'm here. To be frank, I think Shane lays it on thick as a bit. Part of his aw shucks, I'm just an old country artist shtick. Yeah, I mean, listen. Shane wants you all to think that he comes, he rolled straight out of Slap Mountain, but the truth is, he is a global force, man. He is a global force. And I will tell you this: anybody who has backed and has Inglorious Rex and has read it has got to be excited for Inglorious Rex 2, man. I mean, to read Inglorious Rex 2. I've already backed it. I backed the Shane Davis cover because I like the sort of rubble throne. It's such a great design. But there's a beautiful Dale Keown cover. There's a lot of great work in there. But I think I've mentioned this before on previous streams. I tend to respond to the covers that are done by the person who does the interiors. So if I back a bonus cover, I typically will back the other cover too. So usually I have 2 covers of books, which works out great. I should also mention, by the way, that Michael Bancroft has launched a Second Chance campaign for the first volume of the Lucent. And you guys know I play the trailer for the email sign-up for the Lucent 2 on this channel all the time. But he's doing that on his own site that he has done to fund it. And I really want to see that do well. So if anybody's got the link to where the Second Chance campaign for Lucent 1 is, please put that link in the chat. Let's see who we've got here. Who else have we got here? The guy steals Amish cats. Yeah, cash. I don't know what. So look at my reading is terrible. And we've got channel member Ellie Munoz. It is great to see you, channel member Ellie Munoz. I'm so glad you're here. Hail to the waffles and waffles to the hail. Indeed, Ellie, indeed. And thank you for being a channel member. It's great to see Pete Callen, Ellie Munoz, and Stephen Rockwood up in here bringing the noise. Much appreciated, guys. Much appreciated on this fine Saturday. And make sure you like this stream. I'm getting absolutely destroyed by the YouTube algorithm. Now, I'm not going to... How do I word this? I'm always going to try to improve what I do, but I'm not going to change what I do for their nonsense. But boy, is it annoying when they start laying into you. It's like you get to a certain point and they just start throttling the hell out of your channel, and it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, you know. It should be a mutually positive thing we're doing here, so I don't know what their issue is, but thank you, Stephen Rockwood, and there is the link to the Lucent Second Chance campaign, guys. If you don't have an extra copy of that book to read and you want to get one, there's where you go to get that book. And if you've missed it, even more importantly, you can go, and that's the start of your journey. I can tell you this, and I said this often to Michael, is that I backed that book purely on how much I liked the artwork. I really think Michael's work is great, and I enjoy it. So if you like really good artwork, and gosh, I mean, what would we compare it to? It's like Inception. It's like The Matrix, but it spans, you know, eras of human history. You know, it spans ages, and that's what is so cool about the book. It's like nothing you've ever seen, and it is unique in Comicsgate, and it's very accessible too. We are here, and we kind of like you. That's a good thing. I love hearing that. Thank you so much, Mr. Monkey Boy. 1969 is never not appreciated, if that's not too many double negatives in there. Pete Callen, Lucent 2, sign up. There it is. Yeah, make sure we're signed up for the Lucent 2. Guys, I appreciate being here with you. I really do. I every single day we have and every single stream that we get to do is always a blessing. I mean, when we're doing stuff, my brother Gabe's channel, it's the same thing for Double Impact. After the show, Jericho, Gabe, and I, we just sort of like sit back and go like, wow, that was a really fun show. Wow, the chat was super into it, you know, and we just try to do the best we can because we know that people want to be inspired and they want to be a part of something fun. And if there's one thing that I'm grateful for, and there's many things for CG for, is how much fun it gave me as a backer, how much I've enjoyed as a backer even before I was a creator in CG. I mean, I was obviously doing the videos for Ethan and all that stuff, but it was so great to find people that you could talk to about this stuff. And I guess that's what I was finding with that channel I was watching, at 4 a.m. last night. I was watching it and I was just going, look at all these collectors out there. Look at all these people who have this passion for buying comics. They're gonna buy comics. I mean, speak of the devil in the chat here, I think he's still kicking around here somewhere. 80s Made is a mega backer of campaigns. He loves backing campaigns and getting the cool stuff of Comicsgate. He's a man after my own heart there. And it's like, I love seeing you guys. And I know there's more than 80s Made in this chat. Pete Callen and all of you guys who go crazy backing books. We love you because you're not just buying books, you're financing an art movement. You're financing a creative movement of loving, fan-focused, fun, no-holds-barred adventure. This entire frame is not possible in the mainstream. It's not going to make it past them, you know. Yes, I'm intrigued by, Ellie Munoz says, yes, I'm intrigued by the Lucent World. Haven't read any of it, but we'll back soon. Yeah, it's awesome. It's really cool. And you can read it in a funny Australian accent. That's true. Yes, you can always read it in a funny Australian accent. Skynet is coming. Run, Mike likes tacos. Dude, we were sending texts back and forth about that, and we probably still will be. It is... We went off the rails on that stream, guys. God bless us, but we went off the rails, and it was hilarious. I mean, I was laughing so hard by the end of that stream, I could not breathe. It was, you guys know, if you were there, you know, I almost like fell over a few times. It was really good. Let's see here. Sean, do you trip as a dude who trips a lot watching you paint's amazing. I stared at every scale you painted on that snake. You did. Can't get enough. I am so glad to hear that, Pete Callen. Thank you so much, man. And I don't, but it's one of those things that it's a very meditative process. One of my biggest influences, who I think had some experiences with peyote, because his mother married a man from Mexico who actually lived in Mexico, a Mexican gentleman when I think when he was in college or high school was Mobius. And Mobius has that beautiful sort of surreal, melty quality to his stuff that is like Art Nouveau that's always spoken to me, and I love that stuff. Yeah, you are amazing. That's absolutely right, you are. Bancroft say Quark when talking about James Gunn. Yeah, there you go. Very true. My wife threatens to take my credit cards. 80s made. Oh man. Well, we won't rat you out. Don't worry. I mean, I'm sure she knows more than we do, of course, about all that. But we'll at least try to keep it quiet if we can. And hail to 80s maid's wife, by the way. Yes, thank you for everything you do. We appreciate you. And and to all of you guys too, because you never know, when you're gonna, see people, like what streams people are coming in and out of. I want to make sure that, if I say it early and often in this stream, I'm wishing all of you guys a very, very Merry Christmas, and a very Happy New Year for that matter. It's been amazing just for me in terms of what everyone has been doing in this space and all of the cool work people are creating, because it keeps me going. And I'm very grateful that to have people making great art around me so that I can get this stuff done, and having fans who are receptive and supportive. It's there's a lot to be thankful for this year. A lot to be thankful for. All of you guys, and fun that frankly took us, it takes a while to find out where is everybody? Where are all the people who are into this stuff? And I think we've found a really cool place here. Definitely found a cool place to come be if you are passionate about comics, you're passionate about art, and you're passionate about supporting creators and interesting work. I think that Comicsgate fans are doing some of the most creative stuff, but they also have incredible taste. When you guys talk about the shows you're into and we go into detail, it is crazy. Symmetrical and melty at the same time. Yeah, I love that stuff. It's so cool, Pete. So cool. But what if I wanted an awful Christmas and you just cursed me? Well, remember, it's a Merry Christmas depending on how you define it. So if awful's how you define it, make it happen. My son wants to go see that what's it called? The David Harbour Santa Claus kicking ass movie. So I may have to go take him to see that. Merry Christmas indeed, Joseph Dredd. Merry Christmas, Michael Deach, as well. Let's see, Stephen Rockwood, have yourself a merry little Christmas. Absolutely, if the fates allow. Amen, Stephen Rockwood drawing. Amen. Shanth, who is the character that looks like Batman and Cthulhu? That is, funny enough, Drake Thulu. That is my Dracula Thulu-inspired character. And he is created by Amun Al-Hazred, who is going to be a part of the final epic sort of narrative double-page spread that I decided to add to this book, because it explains his origin, how he came to be. I can't give that all this stuff away, but yes, and he is just this. He's kind of like my version of Wilbur Whateley, if you follow Lovecraft stuff, and so he's very much like of two worlds. He's of our world, and he's of the cosmic horror world as well. And that's the thing I really love about, creating this stuff. Being a fan of Lovecraft. I would say that the book that got me hooked on it was The Thing on the Doorstep. That was the book that got me hooked on Lovecraft, because that ending was just so utterly terrifying, which is, I know might sound like a weird book to get into Lovecraft on, because it's a very particular kind of short story. But the other book, the one I've listened to the most, is the Dunwich Horror. The Dunwich Horror is one of my absolute faves, so I love that book. Did his brother write the Necronomicon? Which one? Yeah, well, yeah, he wrote. He is inspired by Abdul Al-Hazred, and he wrote his own grimoire in this world. So it's like he's a character that is literally a sibling of that creative world of Lovecraft. Obviously a total nod, but the book that he writes and what he basically unleashes is he is the first vampire. So he is the first of this sort of curse on the world that leads to all of these different things, because he starts exploring that world. He's he starts out as a very twisted individual, and by the time you see him, he is very much still alive. So he's not only the author of this kind of thing, he is eternal. Like, he does not die. He goes on. He is like gosh, how do I describe Amun Al-Hazred? Let me see. I've got his, because I have his painting. If I didn't move it, man, do I have a lot of paintings here. Which I guess you guys would probably assume would be the case, right? That I would have a lot of paintings. I don't know where I have him, though, at this moment. And try not to cause too much of an avalanche. But his, I don't have it right here with me. But he is basically a fanged mummy with these crazy wrappings that come up into these two horns. He's the one you've seen. You've seen him before. He's, hang on a second. Let me do this. Present, share screen, window. I've got him on my desktop right now. Let's see if this works. Add to stream. He's that cat right there in the background. That is Amun Al-Hazred. And you can't see his fangs in this one, but that is who he is. And of course there is Drake Cthulhu. And this is a full page spread from the book right here. So yeah, that is who we're talking about. Yes, the Vampire Patriarch. Absolutely. He is... I wanted a character... When I was first trying to come up with who would be, the Vampire Patriarch, the thing that I kept running into was... I didn't want it to be a Nosferatu character. Because while I do think of Nosferatu as being the first visual incarnation of that, I wanted something that was bigger so that you could get the sense that this character could summon, things that are cosmic on that level. And so I basically combine the Mummy, Dracula, and Lovecraft's Abdul Al-Hazred to be a character, and that's how we got there, a Mr. Pandora, if you will. You're absolutely right. Pete Count, sexy ISF. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Yeah, that is the goal, right? The goal is to make these pages something that you just are like, you know what? I need some inspiration. I'm going to go open up Nosfero right now. And every single book I release that is, of this world, and there are many more ideas that I'm sure are going to be coming down the road for this. That's what it is. It's got one simple mission: to inspire you guys and have the sexiness, the horror, the monsters. Because as much as I love, H.P. Lovecraft, there's elements of Solomon Kane and R.E. Howard that I want to see in this. There's elements of Frazetta's interpretation of R.E. Howard's work that I want to see in this. And there's with Conan and all of that stuff. And so, yeah, for me, that's the big draw of this, is to make something that's just visually that the mainstream sees and craps its pants. That's basically what the purpose is here. That's what we're here to do. And all of it, guys, all the YouTubing, all of the building this channel, all of the videos I've done, intro videos I've done for Ethan, anything I've done for anybody, pinups, covers, all of that stuff, I have never lost sight of the fact that building all this channel was to grow Nosfero and to grow this project, and also to help grow Comicsgate. And to be sitting here with, how do I put this? I've drawn comics before. I've drawn entire comics before. I've done, self-published comics. I've done all of these different things. And I've done painted books. I've crowdfunded books on Indiegogo before they were Comicsgate projects, because they were just art books back in the day when we started. No one was, you couldn't go into Comicsgate with an art book, for God's sake. And let me tell you guys, this is the most painted comic book pages I have ever done in my entire life. It is, the pages I have done over there are almost to 30. I'm almost to 30 pages of painted comic book. And they look so good. You guys have seen the photo where I laid them all out on the sofa. Holy cow, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Eli Munoz, I've been reading The King in Yellow, which is very similar to Lovecraft. Very cool. I imagine him and Chambers were contemporaries. Lots of stuff like that undiscovered. Guys, thank you in the chat for every time you drop stuff like that, because I'm discovering stuff all the time. I've got a copy of The Red Decade, The Stalinist Penetration of America by Eugene Lyons. That was a recommendation from RAZÖRFIST. Speaking of RAZÖRFIST, I just got in the mail, if you follow me on Twitter, you know this. my hardcover copy of Death Mask. I have to say, I like the cover stock on this better. It's that Lux Touch kind of cover. If you haven't gotten it, it's available on Amazon and on his website in the link below. Let's see here. Hammer, Lovecraft. Those are my two influences. You know it, Pete. It's like you said, hey, Pete, here's a book I made specifically for you. Oh, I'm so glad, Pete. Because you know what? At the end of the day, we're just looking for, like, where are the people? Where are my people who like this stuff that I'm super into? They're out there. And we've got to find more of them, because I don't think that we're at the tip of the iceberg as far as what we can become in terms of a place for people to go. Because there are a lot of people, and you know what I'm talking about, who are long-term fans, who have been hardcore hobbyists of all of this stuff, love reading books, love speculative fiction, love, pulp, love all of this stuff. And they've just been underserved. And we've got to go to where they are, and we've got to pull them into this and get them excited, because they need it and we need them. I recommend any writer to read as much outside of their wheelhouse as they can. You're absolutely right. It'll make you a better writer. 80s made, yes, and it also makes life better. Because I like to read stuff and be exposed to things that are even especially like nonfiction stuff as well, but fiction too, that is not what I do, because it gets me thinking completely differently. And it expands what I'm able to do and how I think about things. I look at manga, European comics, and American comics, and I grab the stuff I love the most, and all of it filters in there. Pete Callan, A's Meat Consumer, so I should read a lot. You knew someone was going to have to come in there with that, man. That's how it is. Yes, Pete, more or less books. Yeah, there's some amazing fiction in those, I'm sure. But it's that's the thing for me about it is that if we can continue to tell people, like, oh, there's all this cool stuff over here. Come on over here. You're welcome. I just think you're going to improve the quality of people's lives. I mean, being in this space has made things and made life more enjoyable for me. I hope it has for all of you as much as it has for me, because I was watching those videos. I come home from work, when I was teaching and driving, 90 miles up and 90 miles back, uphill both ways in the snow. When I was making that commute, I needed something to actually help me unwind. I needed some entertainment. I needed something beautiful. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that we're here for. That's what we do. And I need to laugh as well. I mean, there are streams from back in the day of CG streams that I could still watch and laugh, even though I've seen them, already. It just cracks me up. Absolutely cracks me up. I love seeing that stuff. Man almighty. I was watching the stream with John talking about his short story in Cool Story Bro, and the conundrum of like how best to publish it, what to do with it. And I'll tell you what, man, if Ethan ever does anything with it where he's like, I want to do a release of that, where maybe a bunch of people doing like a riff off of John's character or whatever, doing a riff off of some of that stuff, man, shoot, man, I'd love to do some artwork for that. I just think it's about having fun and really making indie comics, and I think Ethan has had some really brilliant ideas for just, for anthologies and ways for people to get together. Shoot, participating in the Cyberfrog, trading card set, man. And I know you guys know this card, and if you got this card and you're a member of the Patreon or a channel member, you know what I'm talking about. That was such a blast, because not only did I get to create a really great piece of artwork for me, I really am proud of that one. But I also got to see a bunch of other people doing cool stuff and really pushing the envelope, I've been in Clive Barker kick at I've been in a Clive Barker kick at the moment. Reading the Scarlet Gospels at the moment. I love how he mixes beauty and horror. Yeah, guys, this is we've just been in a lull for a little bit. There are glory phases of imaginative fiction and horror and fantasy and all of that stuff, and we just haven't had the resources that we had now with things like crowdfunding and YouTube, and then the people kind of finding it right now that we have before to make all this stuff possible. But this is, the indie comic scene has had some variation of that. This was, that was a lot harder. I mean, I think it's eventually talented, passionate, people like ourselves find each other. And we always have. That's the history of actual nerd culture, not Nerd Inc., not nerd corporate, but actual nerd culture. It was the history of people against all odds finding, those people, as C.S. Lewis once said, who had an inkling of what the other person was talking about and passionate about. And that's where the inklings came from at the Eagle and Child, which I guess is no longer there anymore, which is kind of tragic. It's closed down. But over God knows how many years it's been there. But that's how those folks, all met each other. And that's kind of what we're doing here. I mean, this is our version of that pub, that was in Oxford. It's like we're just here and we're kind of sitting back and talking about the stuff we're passionate about. And there's nothing that we can't do if we just, keep putting our stuff out there and keep talking about it. We just have to make sure that people can find us. And I think they are. I think people are finding us more and more all the time. More and more all the time. I mean, I've met so many good friends in CG. It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing, as they say. What is up, Alphonse Le Grand Bear? I love that name. I'm not a nerd. I don't know what that means. I know. What's up, Phil? How are you doing, brother? Happy weekend to you. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Sheeple Hunter, how are you doing? Is the obscene of a... I knew someone was going to... The second that came out of my mouth, I went, oh, I know where this is going. Yeah, that's right. Imaginative fiction, perfect descriptor. Yeah, I mean, and it's the one that I'm the most, been most exposed to, man. What's up, Phil? Yo, says Phil from Zay Comics. Speaking of my fellow pulp-loving creative brothers, Phil and I have been threatening to do a stream together now for weeks. We got to figure out when to do that, man. We just keep saying it. It's like, we're at that point to where it's like, we're just going to have to force ourselves to do it, man. We're going to have to force ourselves to do it. Because both of us just, we're always working like crazy. You guys know how it goes. I mean, it just is what it is. It's like we're just always going. But yeah, Phil and I, I of course had to give a shout out to Phil when I was talking about what the pulp aesthetic that I'm doing is. I mean, that's when he told me what Steranko said about it. I was like, that is what I've been trying to describe, man. It's about danger, mystery, and sexiness. Those are the ingredients, man. Those are the ingredients. That's what it's about. Yes, I confidently embrace my nerddom too, guys. I love this stuff. I love the fact that I get to meet fellow nerds on YouTube all the time. We get to talk about these crazy worlds that we're making and these adventure stories that we're telling and we make with our own two hands and that we're fund with our own community of awesome people. Whatever we are, a crew, whatever you want to call us, that's what we do. Yeah, indeed. Yes, all hail American Comics Company, hail J-Dread, absolutely. I'm not a nerd. I'm a servant of good taste. Yes, you are. Amen. American Comics Company, always great to see you, man. Yeah, indeed, Phil. Lots of love for Phil in the chat. And then that was a thing, too, you guys had seen me when I was doing the pieces that were inspired by RAZÖRFIST's work, on the Nightfall series that he's doing. And anybody who hasn't checked that out, if you like RAZÖRFIST a ton, the audio book for the first book is already out. You can get it on. There's a link to it on his page, which is in the description. But also, there's an audio book that he read of it, and it's fun to hear him read an audio book. He really puts some sound effects in there, a little bit here and there, a little bit of music accents, and it is a really fun experience. So I highly recommend it, man. I highly recommend it. And of course, for those of you guys that are watching the Camel Moon Art Contest, I cannot encourage you guys enough to go check it out and think about doing something for it, just to help. Everything we do helps get the word out there. Everything we do. And I was working on, and it's still rough at this point, but I was working on, and I got to zoom way out for this one because it's a big painting. But I was working on this section of the painting last night, so this is just a rough of those two characters right now. They're probably going to go through a bunch of changes. Getting the gauntlets together and just sort of exploring what I'm going to do with this character's face. I've changed a bunch of times because that's my sketch process. Like, that's how I build things up. But that's the fun. Like, that's the stuff we're doing here. We're making things. We're just making a ton of stuff. You can see how much bigger that is than what I'm working on right now. I mean, it's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different ball game when you're doing a piece like that. Move that light so it's not so nuts. There we go. But that's what we do. Stick figure Camel Moon incoming. That's right. Let's see. Hail ACZ, hail JJ. Yeah, I often think of C.S. Lewis when contemplating the mainstream. They remind me of Aslan being shorn. Yes, they do. And they certainly did that to a lot of our pop culture. I think about I think about C.S. Lewis a lot. He's probably one of my biggest influences, writer and personally too, in my life. And I think about this great lecture he gave that someone, did an audiobook of and animated called The Poison of Subjectivity. And I think that, or Poison of Subjectivism. And it's interesting to think of him talking about that, and then also atheist Ayn Rand talking about objectivism, and which is he was sort of getting to, which is, I think one of the things that is the most exhausting for people, and is why we all sort of ended up here, is when you see people telling you that something of quality isn't good, and then telling you something that is of poor quality is good. It just goes against every fiber of your being. It goes against your logic. And it's the same thing when they say that this person is awful, they're, racist, horrible, blah, blah, blah. And you go, no, they're not. They're not at all. Why are you saying that? And if you have enough people telling you that same awful message over and over again, it really does, as RAZÖRFIST says, the purpose of propaganda is not to convince you, it's to demoralize you. And so people are in desperate need of inspiration when they come to these streams, when they come to YouTube. They're like, is there a comic skate stream going? Oh, cool. Is there going to be inspiration? What are they going to be talking about? Like, what are the things that they're talking about? Are they going to be making art? They're going to be talking to the chat. They're going to be, creating all this stuff. This is a hell of an amazing thing. And I cannot tell you guys how grateful I am for it, because it has become my entertainment. It has become the stuff that I look for. And I found a lot of other really cool creators through CG. And that doesn't mean that every single person that I follow or look at on YouTube is Comicsgate, but it does mean that that is sort of the central hub of where I go for my entertainment. And then there's people who are in the action figure collecting world, who are in the kaiju fan world, who are, in the theme park world, or in the 18th century history world. Like, there's a lot of other creators that I look to, but Comicsgate is where I go for, frankly, the most serious part of what I'm a fan of, which is, comics and pop culture. That will always be the most important, passion of mine. It's even the stuff I don't do. I love hearing about movies. I love hearing about, all of the different kinds of work out there. And it's a shame to see art forms that have done and reached such amazing heights be dragged down into the creative gutter. But I do believe it's darkest before the dawn, and I do believe that we are witnessing the dawn of a new level or new excellence in imaginative creativity. And I think that new excellence is at hand, and I want to shout it from the rooftops and get more people positive and inspired about it. That's why we're here. I've been through way too much in my life to be cynical. And that, I know some people say the opposite, but it's totally true. The more stuff you've been through and the more stuff you've seen, the less being cynical can serve any purpose in your life. Because you can't. I mean, it's like, you can't be cynical. You can't afford it. You can't afford cynicism. And I can't afford cynicism. And you guys don't make it easy, because I come in here and you guys are so passionate and excited and fun and make me laugh. How the hell am I going to be cynical with all of you fine people here? It's not possible. Not possible. Too much cool stuff. Too much cool stuff. Oh, let's see. I'm missing stuff in the chat. Admiral Wackass, channel member. Admiral Wackass, I bow to you. It is great to have you here in the chat, my friend. It is great to have you here. I hope you're having a fine Saturday. Cowabunga, it's great to see you. Iron Age is so cool and exciting. You're absolutely right. Admiral in the house. How are you doing, man? Yes, and what's up, Jabez? How you doing? Yo, what's cynical mean, yo? Amen. Yeah, cynical, that's our job. That's right. No, you guys are great, man. You guys crack me up. I mean, how else? Hope over despair, very Lewis, and Tolkien too. Yes, love both of them. And that's the thing about it too, right? Is that that is the kryptonite. That is the one thing, the weakness. That is the cross. That is the garlic. That is the thing that these cultural vampires cannot stand. They cannot stand laughter, a sense of humor, and they cannot stand optimism. They cannot stand positive energy. They got to tear everything down. They got to be negative, and it's very much an exercise in Alan Moore's The Killing Joke, which is a cynical outlook where you just think if people knew what you had been through, they would be as miserable as you, and then the horror of finding out that There's a lot of people who have been through tough things in this world, and they choose to be positive. And I've seen so many people. A woman who escaped North Korea, who was Jordan Peterson had on and was interviewing, where I was practically in tears listening to her story, and she is so hopeful, so optimistic. I go, I didn't know that we made humans that strong, but then I did, didn't I? Don't all of you? I mean, that's a crazy thing. Yeah, attention on deck. The Admiral is here. That's right. Jericho's trying to teach me how to salute proper, which I can't do. It's like, it's got to be right to the eye and not touching your face. And I'm like, I'm going to work on it, Jericho. I'm working on it, brother. I just made myself some sausages and eggs. Yes! That waitress never brought my waffles. Listen, I apologize for the service. And I'm telling you what, I'm going to talk to her and have her give you a call and personally apologize. Okay? Yes, check out Zaid Comics for all your Magic Cop Lost Pages and CG Vacations needs. Yes, indeed. Check out Zaid Comics. Yo, buddy, so cynical means based. Just Google it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, I think that we're a damn pragmatic crew, but we make stuff. We're producers. We're not looters. We're producers. That's what makes it great, you know. Everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. Yes, yeah, she was good on Rogan. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. What an amazing human being. Yeah, there are certain human beings that just inspire me to raise the bar of how I go about things. And yeah, she was great, man. She was fantastic. What a legend, man. And just kind of, yeah, you see people with... I've met so many amazing folks in my life doing amazing things that inspire me. And again, I mean, look at what we did a couple of nights ago. In Comicscape, it's like everything just goes, so there's not really a stop point. We're practically streaming 24 hours a day at this point, and we're always working. There's always a bunch of streams going on. And this is the thing about it. I was so incredibly touched. I was telling everybody about it, about the charity streams that we did to raise money. And just all the artists who are volunteering work, but all of the fans and people in our community coming out and backing and you know, donating money and buying things. And it's like... I just can't say enough good things about the folks who put that together. They made my Christmas season better with that. They really did, because it made me think about one of my favorite movies, which is It's a Wonderful Life, which is not a movie about a guy who has a life where everything always works out for him. He has a life of caring for, you know, the people in his community, for his friends, for his family. And it's about how when you're around the right people, what is it? No man is poor who has friends. I think was the thing that Clarence wrote to him. I probably got that a little bit off, but that lives in me. And it was my late father-in-law whose glasses I wear. I don't know if I've ever told anybody that, but these are glasses that of his that I wear in honor of him. And he was a great man, and that was his favorite movie, and it's my favorite Christmas movie. I just love it. In fact, the reason why it says Liberty at the end of all of my streams is because, one, Liberty is very important to me, but also because his company name was Liberty Films. So when you see It's a Wonderful Life at the start, it shows a bell ringing and it says Liberty Films. And I said, that is what I'm about. That's what I want to make sure I have when I start, you know, creating my own stuff on YouTube. And thank God you guys showed up, or it would have been a little wouldn't have meant much to people. But I mean, it would have meant a lot to me. But it's great that you guys are here and you guys, you know, you guys respond to that kind of thing. Can't tell you how grateful I am. But yeah, that did a lot for me, man. I was so proud to be amongst all of you guys, and I know it's sappy or whatever, but I'm sappy. You guys know that about me. And I just felt so grateful, and it really made the Christmas spirit feel very alive in me. As you know, it's really described in one of the greatest works of fiction, which is A Christmas Carol. I mean, God, that is one of the greatest works of fiction of all time. I love it. I have a facsimile copy of it on my mantle right now. Oh my goodness gracious, the bots are here. The bots are here. What is up, Siege Perilous? It is great to see you. I hope you are doing well. And everything is going well for you. Let's see here. While they sleep, we work. You're absolutely right. Unless we're also sleeping. Stoicism came from cynicism, so I do think it's important to be somewhat cynical. But you have to keep going forward from there rather than student. You're absolutely right. And, you know, when you guys talk about this, we talk about the Stoic philosophers a lot. I don't know where I have my Stoic philosopher quote kicking around here. Probably fell on the floor the other day. But I do have my quote of the... Oh, here it is. Of the Stoic philosophers. I've got Epictetus right here. The key is to keep company with people who uplift you and whose presence calls forth your best. That's one of my favorite quotes. And then Marcus Aurelius's quote, which I love, which is, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. And I love those two quotes. So yeah, I think of us as in so many ways as being a Stoic movement in a strange sort of sense. But again, it ties in nicely with the Iron Age, you know. Do you think that Comicsgate can save Superman and bring them back to what his original creators wanted to be? I think Comicsgate will make the next Superman. Hail dudes, hail Siege Perilous. It's great to see you. 80s made. Hail Wackass. Everybody saying hello, hello. Well said, Sean. Thank you so much, Siege. I appreciate that. And yes, thank you, channel members, for being here. It's great to see you guys. I appreciate your support. And this is the thing too, you know. Oh, and hello, also, and yep. Am good cheer, cold as ice in the UK at the moment. I can't imagine, man. And I'm glad. I hope you guys warm up soon. We were pretty cold here the other week, but I don't know what you guys are at the moment. But hey, yeah, just wrap up warm. You're so right. And I will say this: A Christmas Carol it's hard to imagine that it didn't always exist. It is such an incredible work of fiction about the human condition, written by a person who, you know, lived in the workhouses, who lived in the poorhouses, and who had a very tough childhood and had a very tough youth experiences. And what he gave us was a Christmas ghost story that explains in a way that affects you deeply. And I think, so funny enough, so does It's a Wonderful Life. It distills things down into a way that speaks to the human spirit directly. And I think as I've gotten older, I've always enjoyed A Christmas Carol, but as I've gotten older, the power of it has definitely affected me even more than it did when I was young. I love that kind of stuff, you know? I love that kind of stuff. And and it really raises the creative bar. When you see stuff like that, you think, wow, a human imagination, you know, just created this story that we can't live without. How amazing is that? And it really is a wonder to behold. I had never seen that, an actual performance of that. I mean, like a theater performance of that, until my wife took me a couple of years ago to go see it. And it was really moving. And I'm very grateful to her for that experience, because there was a lot I didn't, I'd seen other things and been to see live performances and things like that. But there's just something special about that. It's seeing it performed. I know it was conceived of and obviously written of as a book and everything like that, and that's the way that it's probably most accurately experienced. But just seeing that story, I mean, it's got everything in it, man. It's got the Grim Reaper, and it's got, just the ghosts of all of these very powerful things. I love it, man. I love that stuff, indeed. Let me just make sure. Yeah, It's a Wonderful Life is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, we actually talked about that movie, I think, on Double Impact, if I'm not mistaken. And we even drew parallels between It's a Wonderful Life and Lethal Weapon, believe it or not. But it's a story about hitting rock bottom, and the rock bottom that you hit when you try to be the shoulder for everybody and never tell people about your needs, right? He's not good at reaching out and telling people what he needs. That's one of his biggest flaws. Everybody appreciates him, everybody knows that kind of thing, but he needs to ask for help. And because he doesn't know how to ask for help, he has to be sent this angel. He has to be pushed to the brink and see how selfless he is. And he has to see what he meant to people. And when he comes back to his life, he gets to see not only the impact he had, but also people reflecting back. Listen, man, we want to do good for you. And I will tell you what, there was just something so organic and natural about the streams that we did to raise money. And I was just lucky enough to be invited to just play a tiny, tiny, tiny part in that. That really just got me. It was almost like, Comicsgate's It's a Wonderful Life, where you see somebody who wouldn't ask for anything, and who, people just come out of the woodwork to help because people know, man. People know. And I love that about us. Like, I love that about this outfit. And And it wasn't it was a real person that people knew. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't something that you get to hashtag and you get to get people to look at it and just go, ooh, look, I'm a part of this thing. And it's not what it was about. It was about human relationships and the kind of things that most we're so lucky in this, that this, what has occurred here. I mean, there's people talk about like the downsides of anything. And I understand that and I can appreciate that. But the simple fact of the matter is we are so lucky to be here because in this outfit, there are so many kind, inspiring people to be around. You can't turn around without finding somebody new doing something awesome. So just, keep doing that and keep sharing that positivity. And we're going to keep growing. We're growing like a weed, as they say. And we're getting it done. And that's what I love about us. That's what I love about what we're doing here, Let's see. Alphonse Legrand says, doing good deeds do not need thanks to validate them. You're absolutely right, but it does help every now and then. You're right, it does, because you can get, and let's talk about, because we were talking the other day, or Ethan was talking the other day, about the early days of Comicsgate. Let's talk about that initial thing where Ethan said, I'm going to launch Cyberfrog. I'm just going to fall back like a trust fall, and I'm going to hope that you guys catch me. I'm going to trust that you guys are going to catch me. You say you're going to catch me, but I don't know. And so to me, there's that It's a Wonderful Life thing where all of the people who were Green Lantern fans and didn't abandon him, and the people who met him at conventions and who were like, no, this guy is a really good dude, I don't believe that. And all of the people who were on his YouTube channel, they're like, no, I'm not going to let this happen. We're not going to let this guy get thrown under the bus. We're going to help this guy because he's a good person and we relate to him, and it's powerful. And I look at that stream all the time, man. It's a great stream. It's a great stream. The outpouring of kindness I've seen from CG this Christmas has been wildly overwhelming. I agree with that. It has been. What's up, Marcus Kelleher? It's good to see you, my friend. It's nice to be nice to the nice. Yes, absolutely. This is looking amazing, Sean. Thank you, Phil. I appreciate it. These pages are the best things I've ever done, guys. This stuff is the best stuff I've ever done. And it's like always take some time to go back and look at how far we've come, and it's like, I know I've shown this a bunch of times, and I think it's, I show different videos every now and again, but one of my absolute favorite videos of all time, if I can find it, here. Oh, whoops, no, it's not there. Hang on a second, guys. I'm going to see if I can find it. But, where is it? Show more. God, I have a lot of playlists up in here. There we go. And I have this playlist, if I can get it to work. I've got this playlist here. I'm going to see if I can share this. Let me know if you guys can see this in the chat. But I want to make sure I play this. Immortal Rising Comic Book, it's great to see you. And hail, my friend. It's great to see all of you guys in the chat. It is so great to see you guys. And our channel members, thank you guys so much, guys. I can't wait to play the credits and have you guys name it, but I don't want to leave, so here we are. But let me see here. I'm going to show this to you guys real quick because I want us to remember this. I want us to always remember this. Share screen, share a Chrome tab, share this, share, and let's see here. So this is on a playlist of things that I have, and I want to see if I can get this to be on here. Add to stream. Let's take a look at our history real quick in Comicsgate, all right? Here you go.
All right, we're live, baby. We are live. We are live on Indiegogo. We are live on YouTube.
This
is quite a big deal. We are going to be broadcasting.
This is the launch of All
live,
Comics.
Pretty much like all the time now. All the time. There's going to be a camera going in our house. I mean, this is a very, very, very big deal. I've never done anything like this before. I've been dreaming of relaunching Cyberfrog for, God, a decade now.
Remember the iPads?
For a decade. And I can't believe it. I mean, we finally just decided, let's do it. Let's get it done. Let's get it up there. I'm so, my mind is blown. I'm so excited about it. It's just so great.
I can't believe it's been 4 years.
There's my frog right there. He's looking cool. Yeah. So it's on Indiegogo right now. It's Cyberfrog Blood Honey.
Let's watch.
Happen. This is
Where's the number?
A few minutes now.
Come on, man.
Not very long, and we are. I don't know how to do that. But I'll look into that. Because I think that's we're at 52%. We have $4,135.
picture
So
right
we just
there.
need to get to 8,000
It was
to
Kelsey, I
fund
guess.
this project.
Alphonse.
Michael Alvarado,
Look at
thank you
that.
for $5.
Look at this picture.
What about one day adding a plastic cyberfrog on your
This is what it was all
your desk
about.
as a tier or future endeavor?
See that?
Those are going to be stretch goals.
Andrea, Ethan,
I have
Ava,
an idea for a
launch of
sticker.
something new.
I have an idea for
Beautiful.
the cyberfrog plastic stand up. I need to save them for stretch goals because I'm not going to make the book any bigger. Like as they say, I mean, you're going to watch me draw this. I'll put up about 5 previews. And that's going to be really, really cool.
Where is it, Ethan?
Let's see here. Cecil. Everyone loves Cecil. Hey, Captain Cummings. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're with me for this. And we're going to refresh it again and just see if we made any progress.
Love seeing Cecil there.
Oh, my goodness. Really good, Chef. Thank you for $5. I almost didn't get the ash can because I thought it was a can of soy pants ashes. No. It's an actual... Yeah, that's actually... I would worry about that. I mean, we are literally selling ash cans now, aren't we? Oh my God, we did it! Yay! Oh my God, we did it! We're at $8,615, 108% of our fixed goal. We did it. Okay, so we got to tweet that, everyone. I mean, go on Twitter.
You guys
let's
did
celebrate. Let's just hoot and holler, as they say. I mean, this is fantastic. I am so excited. We did it. I'm typing. We did it. Funded in, I would say, 20 minutes, right?
There you go, guys. That is what I'm talking about. Did you feel that genuine enthusiasm and excitement that it funded? And yes, Hail Siege, you're right. John Malin took a lot. For those of you guys who have been to my channel, if you go to the video section, not the live section, since they did that, you know what the... what we did here. But I have in this drawer behind me, hang on one second, I'm going to show you guys this stuff. In this drawer behind me right here, if I can do this without damaging all my stuff. Here it is. In the drawer back here, I've got artwork. I've got the first 2 proof copies of... God, I have a lot of art in here. The first 2 proof copies of my book. And I've got my never-opened copy of Cyberfrog Blood Honey from that first campaign. I've got 1 copy that's open that I read, and then in this drawer, the same drawer that I keep the initial proofs of Art Books 1 and 2, which were completely inspired by Comicsgate. That's the stuff that I have there. God, I have so much artwork. It's about to start an avalanche, but it'll be fine. But that's really what it's about, man. You know, and yeah, Malin's the man. I was Comicsgate back in '93. I even have my own amphibian character. There you go. Were you a Cyberfrog fan? Yo-Yo says Ellie. Yo, Admiral, how's... God, you guys are amazing. So yeah, I mean, that's what we're doing here. And now, there's someone who was back in that book and someone who was saying to themselves, you know, like, all right, you know, I'm going to launch 2 art books and I'll see if they fund. And I did those without, you know, CG because we weren't doing art books. We were doing comics, but I did them on Indiegogo out of respect to the coach and because I was disgusted with how he was treated by Kickstarter. All of that stuff grew out of it. And so when I sit here with you guys and I'm looking at the stuff we're doing, that new double-page spread I'm working on, by the way, is so cool. I cannot wait to show that to you guys. But when we look at the stuff we're doing here, this all grew out of that, man. This grew out of you guys supporting this stuff in Comicsgate. You know, and yes, I think we can all agree that it wasn't Ethan, it wasn't John, it was Kelsey, obviously, from the beginning. We know this now. We've seen the video. What is up, Apex? How are you doing? The altar scene. Yeah, it's looking good, man. The Apex Comics, you're going to dig this so much, man. And it's great to see you. Marcus Kelligrew, I self-published The Amazing Adventures of Captain Courage in 1995. I claim being first. Respect, Marcus. That's absolutely... Hey, listen, respect to Captain Courage, respect to Marcus is what I say. Flat files. Aaron preaches flat files. I have an entirely filled flat file in my basement, man. Oh, my Lord. I need, like, artwork hanging from the ceiling at this point to be able to get to it all. It's crazy. Tip-top shape. Ellie Munoz. Aldous on the farm just off Orwell Lane. Bless you, sir. It is great to see you, my friend. Yeah, it is so great to see all of you guys here. But those days were crazy. So what I was going to say about Coach John Malin, I have a video on my channel that is an edit of a Pete Cimetti interview he did with John Malin. And it's called Highlight on the Reel. Let me see if I can get this to focus. There we go. My light's a little screwed up here. Hang on. That's a little better. But it's called Highlight on the Reel. And it is a great, John, I edited it so it was, it just had the highlights on it. But it's a great edit of John talking about Comicsgate, his experiences with being canceled and everyone coming after him and being attacked. And I have so much respect for that dude. And so if anybody ever wants to see John in his own words talking with the great Pete Samedi, and Pete is a great interviewer. He did a great job with that. Just letting John talk and letting John, kind of walk people through what he's done. But it's I will tell you this, without Ethan and without his early, work in the Fandom Menace, which is how I found out about Ethan, and I would not have been inspired to do those 2 art books, which is, I wrote to him, and he knows because he showed that email on stream. But I wrote that to him, and John is why I was on Indiegogo. What happened to John, which was appalling. And I will tell you, want to talk about things coming full circle, or things going places you never thought they would. I've got a piece in John Malin's Vision book for Godlike that is of my characters. You guys have seen it. It's the one with the scales, the snake scales that I was painting. So yeah, that book, that piece of artwork, which is this one right here. This piece came to be because of John Malin and because of all the stuff he does. Actually, I'll make it easier for us. Let me do this. Let me go to my camera here and go to... Let's go to Artist Cam. There we go. That's a little easier. And I can show it to you that way. So this piece came about because of John Malin. And John just reached out to me. He goes, hey, man, I was thinking about reaching out to you, and I just want to see if you wanted to do a piece for the Visions book, a single or a double, depending on what you think you have time for. And I was like, I am not going to miss this opportunity, and I am not going to miss, this deadline. I'm going to get this thing done. And so, yeah, it has been awesome. Between that and the Cyberfrog card, things have been crazy, man. Hail Joseph Dredd, self-published Executor Femme Fatale in 1996, pre-CG. Hail, man, that's awesome. I published my first comic book in 1991. So, yeah, man. I was CG from the beginning, I think. I just didn't know it yet. Back Nosfero, 20 OG head sketches available for a steal. Yes, that's right, man. That was crazy. You will not find OG Shanth for this price anywhere else. You're so totally right, man. Oh my gosh. Yo, Aldous is the man. I love talking Shadow with Aldous. And I've got a hell of a Shadow head sketch for him, too. Yeah, let's see here. Pete is pretty awesome. Yeah, but Alexander was great. Yes, that is true. Alexander was great. And Pete tells you if you have to choose between Domino's and Pizza Hut, always go with the Pizza Hut, which is useful. The same American Comics Company. Happy Saturday, my friend. This is what I love, man. This is what I love. Yep. Ethan and Cecil caught my attention, but Malin is why I stuck around, so blame him. Yeah, Malin is, and oh gosh, bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Admiral. I do appreciate that. Malin was the guy who gave me the strategy for how to do this, and he also called us all out, and he said, it doesn't matter if you're an introvert. If you have a book and you want to sell it, you need to start streaming and build your channel. Do not launch without building a channel. And I've had this channel for 3 years, and I've tried to pay it forward as best as I can. 11 p.m. Central there. Oh, that's right. Apex After Dark unboxings, surprise guests, and more. There is the link right there, guys, to Apex's channel on YouTube. Joseph Dredd, Shanth is going to be one of the prints available on your... Shanth, is this going to be one of the prints available? No, not the... This won't be available as a print, but I am thinking about at some point selling prints of it, or... I'm getting ideas to do stuff with it. Spring Ball, you're right. Spring Ball was in 2002, I think it was, or 2001. And before that, I did a comic at 16 called Avant-Garde, which was 1993. And I did a comic called Indigo when I was 14 in 1991. So, yeah, it's crazy, man. What Shanth isn't saying is he has Malin Shrine in his front lawn. No, it's a wolf. Hey, listen, I don't need a Malin Shrine, man. I've got a character in this book named after John Malin. So, yeah, that's his shrine. What is shaking, Admiral? Yes, Gary G. It's great to see you, Gary G. Hail Shanth, hail chat, enjoying the art and history discussion. Absolutely, Gary G. I'm enjoying having you here. Thanks, Shanth and Jedi Art. You're very welcome. Is that the girl from Malin's basement? It might very well be. I think that was a painting of Malin's basement, man. And you guys know this. Whenever I paint, if I can find it, I'm always using a tube of Malin White. So never forget it, man. Always represent. Where would my art be without Malin? That is how it works. So here we go. Let's see here. I want to put some highlights down in some of these rocks because I went and I adjusted this. This was actually much more of a flat plane, right here. And I'm much more of a, I like things to look a little bit more arched and a little bit more, I don't know, aesthetically flowing, I guess. Because I have these hard angles here. I thought I needed to have something that was a little bit more of an arch right there. And so I went in and worked into that. And it just sort of felt right for the texture that I wanted to put down. And so, yeah, this whole sequence right here, this page, there's a lot of spreads in this book and even panels. But I really am trying to bring the sort of Frazetta, Flegel gang, kind of intensity to this book. So that when you guys get it again, it's like, think of it like this. If all this book was, if there was no story to this book, and there is a story, folks, but if there wasn't a story to this book, it would be 33 beautiful sequential paintings. And so the fact that it's a great story on top of that is even better. But, and that's, otherwise, why wouldn't I just do paintings? But this thing is going to be a work of art. Like, it's more, so much of it is done now. I really feel, comfortable talking about it in those terms because when I first started this, I knew what the other two art books had been, but I had no idea what was there, what was going to happen, and it's been crazy. A truth of channel growth is writing the algo, which nearly always involves climbing onto a controversy like EVS did with Star Wars. Yeah, it's possibly true. But he was so entertaining about it, too, because I think he came from the art background. What I'm really saying is I'm getting a Malin shrine for my art. Look, we'll both get Malin shrines. And we've got 30 people watching the stream right now. Please like and subscribe and keep sharing this out, guys. You guys are awesome. Holy cow. Yeah, thank you, guys. Yeah, I've been getting slammed by the algorithm lately, so it always makes me feel good when the word gets out and the stream picks up some steam here. Waking up, getting ready for the next day of work. Hopefully no one getting picked up on warrants again tonight. I hope so, too. Yes, yo, Gary G. Tree Goblin, how you doing? It's great to see you here in the chat. Did I miss anybody who's come in? Just making sure. Gary G, hey, Admiral Wackass. Yes, Tree Goblin. Hail, Shanth. And chat, it's great to see you, Julie. How are you doing, Julie Pascal? Chat, hit like for the algo. Yes, indeed. Do hit that like. And Gary G here. 31 people watching. My stars and garters. Do like and subscribe. I ain't too proud to beg, as that song once said. But yeah, man, it is a blast doing this kind of stuff. I feel more excited about pop culture and more excited about what we're doing in this space than I ever have. There's too many things to be grateful for this year, and so many successes, and we've seen so much. I think the best is yet to come, and I think that we can't get complacent. Like, we just have to keep working. Again, it's the hard work and it's the commitment. But I think the more that we do this stuff and the more that we keep trucking along and really just bringing our creative thunder to it, the better it's going to be for everybody. Because you need to have a passionate and inspired group of people to make anything worthwhile happening. I think that pessimism is self-fulfilling. I think it really is, and I don't think that it's about blind optimism because we've seen too much. None of us are new. This isn't our first rodeo, but I think that true, strong, amazing positivism, which you saw in that stream where Ethan launched his first Cyberfrog comic, to get to 80K in I think less than an hour or about an hour, was incredible to him. Because, every campaign that's successful, it seems like, it was always going to be successful, except to the creator. It was like, I hope people back this and like it. Watching Nosfero continue to grow and cross 33K at this point is incredible to me. And I am so grateful to you guys and to Comicsgate for that, man. It is big. Yes, indeed. I think Artisan Jetty's laboratory is like going back, walking through a French salon with Toulouse-Lautrec. Man, I wish, man. And yeah, that's the stuff, you guys know this, that's the stuff that inspires me, man. It's like, I love all of that stuff. I love beauty. I love creativity. I love, my camera keeps getting knocked around. I'm going to zoom out to make it a little easier to see what's going on there. But, I mean, that, for me, that is what this stuff is about. It's about bringing, I just dropped a bunch of chapstick on the floor. Ugh. But that's the stuff that I get excited about when I'm doing my work. And the pages that are coming along are hands down the best stuff I've ever done. And I'm going to be working at some point today. I'm going to try to work on some more of the Camel Moon piece that I'm working on, and just because I want to get the word out about Comicsgate any way I can. There is no small contribution to helping to get the word out, especially if you're into hanging out with good people and you want to hang out with people who are passionate about this kind of stuff. I mean, I always say, if you believe in something, I hear the sirens. They're coming for me. Listen, folks, the sirens. It's probably Santa Claus driving around our neighborhood. You never know. We have in our town, the fire department drives around with the weekends before Christmas with Santa Claus on the back of the fire truck. It is about as all-American as you can get. It's a beautiful town. Hail Gary G. And hail Cranberry Langers channel member. It is great to see you here, my friend. Yes, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year indeed. That is loud. You ain't kidding, guys. You ain't kidding. That was loud. That was nuts. That was absolutely nuts. But, you know, it's like it's always crazy around here. So this is the stuff that we are doing here. And this is the stuff. Let me see if I can give you guys some good detail look at this stuff. Let me turn off that light. There's something weird going on with this camera. There we go. Let's see if I can move that into a better angle so you guys can see it better. But when I'm working on this kind of stuff right here, and I'm creating these fantasy landscapes and these fantasy worlds, doing things like right here in this bottom corner is sort of a classic kind of a Conan moment where some of the Nosferatu-like vampires that have been defeated by him are there, and they will be missed. And I just want to have as many of those details that show you the story unfolding, so that you go back into. I don't know if you guys are like this, but when I think about some of my favorite comic stories, the biggest stuff that always hits me is I go back to specific panels and what I felt when I saw them, or how cool they were. And I've got this whole list of panels in my head that have had that kind of impact on me. So I'm always looking for those little details that will affect the people who are flipping through this book and reading it, and have them go, oh, I love that one panel where this happened. That's what I'm looking forward to the most, is when you guys get this in your hands and you let me know what panels are the ones that spoke to you, or what pages or what story elements you liked. That's going to be really fun, because the thing that's tough about any of these things is you're creating in kind of, you're not creating in a total vacuum, because you guys are here with us. You guys are here. Timmy Mello, channel member Timmy Mello, it is great to see you, brother. How you doing? I hope you're doing well, and hail to you on this fine day. Let's see here. I used to live in Newport, Rhode Island. That's right. Yeah, we got a lot of Navy up here. Did the Santa fire truck thing too. Never see that anywhere else. Yeah, I love it up here, man. He took the freeway. How else? Cheech and Chong. That's right, man. That's right. Yeah, Cranberry Langers and Timmy Mello, 2 other channel members here. It's great to see you guys. You guys all make this possible. All of you guys who become channel members and support this stuff, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. But yeah, I mean, I like to work in on this stuff on the stone texture, because funny enough, when I've shown my work in the past and I've shown some of the pages in progress, it always fascinates me how much you guys who are art nerds, you know who you are, I'm one of them, how much you guys respond to those little textural details in the work, that stuff that kind of gives it maybe the verisimilitude as many of us like to say. And I think the first time I heard that expression was Robert Meyer Burnett was using it. And I do love that concept, because I think it's about really thinking about how you bring the reality to it. And you bring that sense of texture to it. Yes, indeed. Amen. Yeah. Overworked, underpaid, but hey, I'm still breathing. Amen, Timmy Mello. Amen. Why does that face look familiar? Which one are we talking about? There's so many. If it's the one on the ground, it could be because of its Nosferatu. But yeah, I see these faces. Well, so many of these faces, it's funny. Artists, we look in the mirror sometimes to figure out how to do an expression, and so at a certain point, I start going, "Oh man, is every weird creature I paint is some variation on me?" It's like me making some goofy face. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, I'm sure it is at some point. There we go. I just want to give a little bit more texture right in there. Because it's, I mean, everything I'm doing in here with like the values and the cool and warm colors is to give you guys, an aesthetic response when you get these books, just to go, oh, this is cool, or, it brings me into the space. And I think that aspect of what we're doing here in CG, damn, I cannot stop bumping the camera and getting it to move. It's driving me nuts. But I think that every time we can do that, it just brings a little bit more to the people who are like, oh, what are they doing over there in Comicsgate? Like, if you come onto a stream like this and you're wondering, like, oh, what do they do over in Comicsgate? It's like, well, we do a lot of everything, but it's certainly they're going to see that we paint, that we work, that we hang out, that we talk about the day, we talk about literature, we talk about the things that we like. That's what we do here. That's the stuff that makes it fun. That's the stuff that makes this... Let's see if I can get that to focus. There we go. That's the stuff that makes this enjoyable for us when we're doing it. Is we're passionate about a lot of things, and we got a lot of great people here. All of you guys. It has been great to meet you guys and to watch all this stuff happen in real time. Watch the birth of this kind of new movement in comics and in creativity and in art. I love things. I got that from Mobius, and also Travis Charest does it inspired by Mobius, but I love doing things like that. All those little things, those little knots and those little weird little dings in the stonework right there that just tells you you're in a different time period. Let's see here. There we go. There, that's better. And you guys can see what I mean. Right in there. Those little things. I love putting those details in because people respond to that. The proverbial, campfire conversational community. You're absolutely right, Timmy Mello. That's what it is. Yeah, because, I think that we've been doing that for a long time. I mean, as nerds and geeks or whatever you are, as people who are fans of things, we always get together and we talk about them. But this allows us to talk with people all around the world, talk with people all across the country. And in that sense, what we're able to accomplish is magnified. Because people are asking more and more about what are we doing over here and what is this stuff. I think Eric July played a huge role in getting more eyes on what we're doing here. And his success. And also his extroversion and ability to go out there and talk the talk. He just kind of, and walk the walk, I should say, as well. He gets out there and he makes things happen. So yeah, it's been a lot to sustain the success that we've had for this long, for 4 years, and have it still be growing, is an incredible testament to what we started and the strength of the ideas that we have. So yeah, we just keep doing it. While they sleep, we work, right? That's what it is. There we go. Now I'm starting to really love, let me see if I can get a good angle on it. Get to focus. There we go. I'm starting to really love some of the textural things that are happening right in there. It's gonna be really nice to see. I gotta take some photos of this stuff so you guys can see it online. There we go. But you start to see what I mean here. It's just like this whole page, this whole final confrontation is gonna be so cool. Yeah, community. Yeah, isn't it funny? Don't forget Gabe too, and his. Of course, I never forget Gabe. Eric and Gabe brought such positive attention to this community. Yeah, I mean, how can I? I mean, Gabe was... Timmy, you missed this. I said this earlier. Gabe sent me a text at 3 o'clock in the morning, my time, from the West Coast, just to sort of say, send good vibes and positivity and how happy he was for the success I'm having. And we do this stuff, man. I mean, we send messages back and forth to say, hey, man, how are you doing? Gabe just became a grandfather this past, I guess, was it 2 weeks ago now? And congratulations, Minnie. Congratulations, Minnie El Taib. And it is such a wonderful thing to have, brothers in arms doing this work. And yeah, Gabe, when Gabe went on the Babylon Bee and talked about what we were doing here and cancel culture and all this sort of stuff, it was big, man. It's really big. We try to get the word out as best as we can. Yeah. I dig the blood trail, blood spurt, whatever's going on with that soul smoke coming from that lady. Yeah, that is absolutely what it is. Yeah, so we've got that's the blood, and then we've got, and there's going to be more down here, because it's like very much, there's a lot of different ways you can paint blood, in comics, and I have to say this, or in movies, you can portray it. I'm going with the Hammer Horror CAD red most of the time. So that really funny, almost like paint kind of red that they used to do. I mean, mine's probably a little bit more of actual red, but it really, I'm going for bright with that right there. Well, let me see here. If I can get that to work. Will it focus? Where will it focus? There you go. That's what I'm going to be going for right in there when I build this painting out. But you guys see, because you guys have been here, you see how all this stuff starts to come together. It starts to be a really big, epic in scope. Let's move that up even further. There we go. It starts to be a really big, epic in scope, painted adventure comic. And this is just one page of what Nosfero the Cryptwalker is going to be. It's going to be 33 story pages. Yeah, oh yeah. There's a story here. There's a big story here. Yeah, congrats on becoming a grandpa, Gabriel El Taib. Yeah, absolutely, man. Congrats to him. He's him and I like just bonded over a love of Van Damme movies, and we have just been pushing each other to just do the best stuff we can. Booyah base. That's right, booyah base and on the case. And of course, Gabe introduced me to Jericho, who was watching our show, and I can't imagine my Wednesdays talking action movies without Jericho now. It's like Gabe and I, we talk all the time, and we're fellow artists, kindred spirits, and all of that kind of thing. And when Jericho came into the mix, it just made things even more fun. And he's backed a ton of books too, by the way. So hail Jericho Green and check out his channel. He's been doing some amazing stuff, and it's great to have friends like them. We send messages back and forth, all of that stuff, man. Good friends, good people. Tomato soup red. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I had tomato soup for dinner the other night, which was great. My wife made us grilled cheese and tomato soup. She's an amazing lady. Works incredibly, incredibly hard, and is the light of my life, dare I say. I do dare. And actually, she's the influence for Laurel. That's why Laurel's name is Laurel, because my wife's name is Lauren. So I wanted to do something that was like her name for the character, because she's been and everybody in CG who's married says this, but when you do these things, you do them with the support of your spouse, and she has been incredibly supportive, and this is very much about our journey here with you guys, and our family. We wouldn't be able to do this without you, and I wouldn't be able to do this without her. It's just the way it is. Would be no point. Would not be a point. And let me see. I'm going to move this light over here to see. There we go. If I move that light over there, it gets a little easier. Now let me tilt it. There. That's a little easier to see. But do you guys see what we're doing on this page now? This is what Comicsgate is. This is about what the artwork is. We're trying to make the greatest comic book stuff that people have ever seen. We want page after page after page of adventure stories, of monsters, of creatures, of all of the fun stuff that we can put into books. And still working on this page right here. Had to change that figure up, but perspective on a scene like this has been really fun to do. Still working that page out. That's right when we start kicking things off for the confrontation here. You guys know this painting. Just moving stuff here. You guys know this painting well. And because I had an avalanche of pages here. Those are all of the boards I just cut for head sketches. For those of you guys who back at the head sketch tier. Oh, here's the page I was looking for. There is the Amun al-Hazared page. There is Amun right there. There's his headpiece looking over his shoulder. This is a lot of people's favorite page, which I was fascinated by. I really enjoyed making it, and I liked the page, but I had no idea it was going to be a lot of people's favorite page. They really dig this one. So thank you guys for your support, and thank you for liking the page. I do appreciate it. Gosh, I have so much stuff. Those are all the blank pages. Those are the stack I just cut for pages the other day. What else have we got here? Goodness gracious me, am I making a lot of artwork for you guys, and I am so happy to be doing so. Let's move that over there. There you go. And then here is a look at a page that I just started from the fight scene. Just started this the other day. You know, and it's just like, this one's going to be really cool because this is the fight commences, basically. So you've got the page where Nosfero is coming up the stairs and he's like, bring the thunder, I've got the book, give me the girl. And they're like, nah, we got the book now, because the snake grabs it and runs it up to her. Although he does take care of the snake on its way up. But then it's like, the fight commences. And so that's the first panel of the fight scene proper. And that's just Drake Thurlu charging away at Nosfero, jumping down from that balcony, and shit's about to get real. I just realized his shoulder bleeds into his head. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got it, man. Yeah, puppy dog. Indeed, indeed. Yeah, it is. It's going to be some crazy, crazy stuff, man. It's going to be a sick book, man. Yeah, thank you, guys. Yeah, it's guys, this book, people ain't seen nothing yet. They think they know what we're capable of, but what they don't realize is when you create a space where you have to work your tail off to be in it. What the hell is happening back there? When you create a space that you have to work your tail off in order to be in it, it forces people to innovate and do the best work they possibly can do. You know, and that is everything we're doing here. When people like, you know, RAZÖRFIST and stuff give shout outs to Ethan and stuff like that and everything that's going on in Comicsgate, I always think it's important for us to send our thanks back by saying, hey, okay, here's some paintings I've done or some sketches I've done of, this is a sketch more, but of RAZÖRFIST characters. You know, like just did an acrylic on canvas. I did actually another one, too, inspired by one of his characters, but I wanted to tell me what her sword's supposed to look like, because it's described pretty specifically in the book. But for those of you guys who haven't seen it yet, I did 2 sketches of RAZÖRFIST characters the other day between Nosfero work. I've even done a watercolor gouache sketch of Shane Davis's character in Glorious Rex. I did a sketch, this was a couple of weeks ago. Let's see what else I've got here. Of course, you know this one, which is for Malin's Visions book. But look at the stuff that we're getting done. Look at how cool our stuff is. Nobody touches us, guys. Nobody comes close. Like, we're doing the comic books of this generation. We are the future. We are the people who are making the move to make the best stuff anybody has ever seen come out of an indie scene. And it's so technically proficient, the stuff that we're doing. I mean, it's so technically proficient. All right, Alphonse, you got to bounce. I totally understand, because I got to wrap up and grab some food in a second here. But, guys, let me just say this. Please hit like and make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Please make sure to hit like, because the algorithm has been slamming me lately on this channel. I want to make sure we're still getting the good word out about Comicsgate. So please make sure you're subscribed. Please make sure you hit that like button. Thank all of you guys for being here. Oh, it's a bloody fight. It's going to get real. And thank you guys for being here. I'm going to wrap up because I got to get something to eat. I haven't eaten today yet. And it's like, what is it, 2:30 now? I better get something to eat. But yeah, you guys are the best. Thank you to all my channel members. Admiral Wackass, thank you so much. Cranberry Langers, thank you so much for being here. Yes, Merry Christmas to all of you guys. Apex Comics, absolutely right back at you. All of you guys have been great who've been in here today. Timmy Mello, thank you for being in here as well. Cranberry Langers, Admiral Wackass. Let me just see who else. I know Stephen Rockwood was in here earlier. And yeah, you guys are the best. Thank you for being here for this stream. Joseph Dredd, first and foremost. It's great to see you. Yeah, everybody have a great day. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful weekend. You guys are the best. American Comics Company, thank you guys so much. I'm going to play the closing credits for us that show all the channel members. And thank you guys for being here. As always, wishing you guys wonderful things this holiday season. Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. And cheers, yes, to all of you guys. And go check out Julie Pascal, Ellie Munoz, great to see you. Joseph Dredd, Charlie Stevenson, great to see you, my friend. 80s Made Consumer, Siege Perilous, Mike Likes Tacos, Timmy Mill, all of you guys. It is so great to see you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And as always, guys, stay gold. And check out your names in the credits, all you channel members. And stay gold and peace.
dedication, hard work, dedication,